My garbage person of the week is Kristi Noem, because no matter how many times conservatives tell you that they're bringing back comedy and anyone who wants to cancel a comedian just can't take a joke. Wow, for all that talk, they sure as hell have super thin skin and can't take a joke. So here is what Kristi Noem looked like on South Park, where basically her face proceeded to melt and she got drunker and drunker throughout an elaborate recruiting video for ICE, and does a lot of horrible things, which we'll show you. She appears in the middle of the street as Mr. Garrison loses his job and has to bust his nut, which is essentially a code word for how many people you need to abduct in order to break even. Beto O'Rourke's down the way. Anyway, but yeah, so she does that, and then she's very trigger happy. And what is the thing that she shoots multiple times throughout the episode? Well, of course, if you watch the damage report, you know it's a dog. So she's a trigger happy gun shooter whose face melts off and has a mind of its own. Here is the reaction that Nomi had to this caricature on South Park.
When South Park did an episode, and Cartman played me the whole time.
Oh, really?
It took me about a year before I didn't even know it happened until like maybe a year later. I was so busy. I ended up years later watching it with my son, and we both laughed over it. But welcome to the club.
Well, I guess so. I didn't get to see it. I was going over budget numbers and stuff, but I just think it's it never ends. But it's so lazy to just constantly make fun of women for how they look. Only the liberals and the extremists do that. If they wanted to criticize my job, go ahead and do that. But clearly they can't. They just pick something petty like that.
My God, dude. Like, if you want to talk about lazy, these guys are lazy. Lazy is the Homeland Security person unleashing ICE on a Home Depot. In the episode, essentially all of ICE is going to go take the meanies off the street, but so they go and raid a Dora the Explorer concert and heaven, because someone offhandedly said there might be Latinos in heaven. So they actually raid heaven and abduct the Latinos. And if you are going to look me in the face and tell me that it is left-wingers who make fun of women for their looks, that is just the most bald-faced lie, especially Donald Trump. That is what he does all the time. So there just doesn't make sense. And my last thing I'll say about it is like, Glenn Beck over there, like, you did watch it, let's be honest. I was so busy, I don't know what to do. And they're calling it lazy and irrelevant. Like, she's talking about her budget numbers. Tell me your budget numbers. How much are you spending on Homeland Security? And tell me what you cut in order to make that possible. How much you're spending to go to essentially Dora the Explorer concerts and conventions and abduct people who are not the scum of the earth. People who are here trying to who are literally taking money and having families that they care about and supporting them. It's ridiculous. And then her agency was totally fine posting South Park on their Twitter handle. Oh, wait, so we are relevant? Yes, you are relevant. You are the Homeland Security Secretary, and you are abducting people on the street. That is relevant to people's day-to-day lives. And guess what? This is supposed to be Donald Trump's #1 positive issue, and it is. He's doing the best at it. Among other issues, relative to the other issues, however, he's still wildly underwater. John?
100%. Yeah, and of course, ICE loves that image of them all masked, hiding their identity because they are ashamed and should be ashamed of what they're doing. So look, I haven't seen the episode. People are saying they weren't making fun of her looks. They were making fun of the process wherein she got them, the need for every Republican woman to work towards Mar-a-Lago face. I didn't see the episode, so I don't know. I will say the idea that only the liberals mock women for their appearance, as you pointed out, that's Donald Trump. Literally constantly. You cannot have one episode of Jesse Waters or Charlie Kirk where they don't talk about like LGBTQ women with their blue hair or whatever. They constantly talk about women's appearance, literally constantly. So that is That is ridiculous. And the bigger criticism is obviously about what she's doing as the head of DHS, the fact that she murdered a dog with a gun. And also with her posing in that shot, like, again, I don't want people to be making fun of people for their appearance. I generally try to avoid doing that. But like the main thing you've done with your time as the head of DHS is photo shoots. That's about your appearance. Again, you can say you want the upside but not the downside. That's fine. You can try to get that or whatever. But that is what you're doing, is putting on an image. And not just you, by the way. Did you notice that image of Glenn Beck all done up in cowboy attire? Was he trying to bond with her since they both have done that recently?
Dude,
why was he on a horse?
I just don't get it, dude. I don't get how do they get away with it? Like when I see, there's a whole thing also about master debating, which is basically Cartman tries to become a Charlie Kirk while sitting on the toilet and debating people, and they talk about selective editing. But it's like these dudes are like, I am the alpha male. And like, I don't think that being like a super awesome dude involves like picking on dorks. As a person who came up as a dorky, I was raised as a dork. But like, come on, dude. Like, you guys are dorks. You're just saying you're masculine. And I guess, it's ridiculous and I don't like it.